Konnichiwa Integers, Integer here for JustVRGaming with another top list of games for VR that you need to watch out for, this time for the month of February 2025. Will it be a list of games full of loving for your Valentines? Well, we have over 20 games to get through in order to find something we can love. So let's just get started right away. And be sure to check out the Quest Plus drops for this month video. Could have sworn I left that video somewhere around here. That's right. An entry from December's top game list is making its return, this time for my fellow Quest kin in Alien Rogue Incursion. It's in February 13th, 2025 for the Quest, and already available for PlayStation VR 2 and PC on the 19th of the same, well, not the same month, but the month two before. This action horror game has you playing as Zula Hendricks, and if that's wrong, blame the AI assistant I'm using, in a facility overrun by xenomorphs in this terrifying VR experience. It definitely is terrifying. People have said it's not scary or somehow, but we got some gameplay on it you can find. It was horrible. Noteworthy features include dynamic AI-driven xenomorphs, who also have lovely face huggers that can give you a kiss, which is appropriate for February the 13th, at least for the next day. Stealth and action elements, motion tracker, and scarce resources. It also has a problem of having very apparent spawns of aliens, I found. But nonetheless, it was overall impressive for a first entry into what is the first official non-modded Alien VR experience. So yeah, specifically for Quest 3, I believe, as well, and 3S. I don't think this is meant to officially work for Quest 2 since they delayed it to make it work in Quest 3 in the first place. So keep that in mind, and yeah, maybe that would be the thumbnail. I'll try and do like a face hugger or something. That'd be a good idea, just kissing a face hugging giant monster, xenomorph baby thing. Be perfect. Forget about exploding cars or angry birds. How about exploding universes, or rather planets in the universe, with Angry Universe VR, just in case you confused it with the non-VR version, I guess. This one's a cheeky one because it was actually released January the 31st of 2025. But nonetheless, not like you got anything else better to do with your time or any other things to give your watch time to. Might as well throw it in there. Action simulation single player game featuring a fast-paced action game where you defend planets from invading forces using unique weapons and abilities. The noteworthy features include unique planetary defense mechanics, vibrant visuals, and intense combat scenarios. So did you know about this one? Are you angry at the universe, and will you be diving in to destroy planets as well? Let us know in the comments. You angry people, you. All aboard the JustVRGaming hype train, or rather, all on board with All On Board. Available for the MetaQuest and PC VR on February 27th. This board game simulator, including single player, multiplayer, and co-op, is created no less by the guys that created, probably most famously, Blasphemous 1 and 2, as well as The Last Door, if you remember that one, and just recently, The Stone of Madness had just released. Man, I think it's safe to say the game kitchen is very prolific at the moment and very busy. So it'll be interesting to see how this pick and first foray into VR for the game kitchen plays out in the month of love. Hey baby. In All On Board, play a variety of board games in VR with friends using cross-platform, multiplayer, and modding tools even. Noteworthy features include crossplay between Quest and PC VR, mixed reality mode for Quest 3, and I presume 3S, and licensed games like Terraforming Mars and The Binding of Isaac, 4 Souls. What? Looks like a cool concept though. There's a bunch of like board games with friends and stuff, and yeah, I'm down for it. I think. I mean, let's need friends. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Oh, a wonderful birthday month. No friends and all the board games to play. It's time to Ashen your Arrows on February the 20th, because Ashen Arrows is launching for the Quest. Now, apparently it's already been in early access June the 12th of 2023 for Steam, if my information is correct, but it's action adventure that includes single player, multiplayer, and co-op. It's a Nordic mythology themed archery game with a campaign and co-op roguelike mode. Interesting. Mechanics include defending the 9 realms from Ragnarok, what is this, God of War, and co-op Bastion, I'm pronouncing that right, mode for up to 3 players. So there you go, straight arrow shooting, matches with Cupid, although they're releasing 6 days late. They missed an opportunity. They could have done it on the 14th and had Cupid promo it for them on the YouTubes and other friendly neighborhood social media platforms. These guys really need a marketing manager, and I'm here. I mean, you know, just reach out. I'll get your game sold, no problem. Now I know you've heard it all before and you're fed up with people asking you, but it really is important, especially for less established, smaller upcoming creators like myself to ask you and remind you that if you want to support this content, it's important that you subscribe, hit your follow button, explore your bell, and caress the like button, so that not only platforms like YouTube can provide you with more of this content, but it also just gives motivation to creators as well, and lets us know that we're going in the right direction with the value we're trying to provide you each and every day or week or month. It feels like more like a month when you're sick like me and it's February and the cold weather. So any bolts of confidence is appreciated right now. God bless your clicky socks. I'm detecting something. And this deduction is especially true if you haven't skipped to this point in the video. I'm detecting that you're enjoying this video enough to know that on February 27th of 2025, Detective VR launches for Meta Quest 3, another pick where you solve mysteries using time manipulation, collecting clues, and interrogating witnesses in mixed reality. Awesome. Notable features include hand tracking, volumetric characters, that's a bit of a tongue-twisting word, and branching narratives across 3 stories. This is definitely one of my picks, one to look out for. It looks pretty cool, and it's going to be interesting that they're going to be using people in the mixed reality. I don't think I've seen any games personally, experienced any games that have done mixed reality with people in your real-world environment. I've seen it with objects and items and magical things, but not actual normal suspects of murder. Oh boy, I'm assuming murder. Is it murder? Do I want murderous people in my real world? Alright, maybe this one's one to skip. I don't know. I'm starting to get nervous now. There you go. Another February the 27th release of the 25s, and another one for MetaQuest. This one's an RTS called Crystal Commanders. In it, you'll be leading the Crystal Vanguard in mixed reality battles against the Crimson Blade in this RTS game. Featuring mixed reality gameplay, fully voiced campaign, and room adaptive environments. This one is possibly a pick as well. Not loads of real-time strategies in VR, so this should be interesting, especially mixing the real world again. And I'm quite a fan of the mixed reality thing. I think it's something that is hard to express without seeing firsthand, a bit like VR itself, ironically. So definitely one to look out for and check out and see if it's up your alley, especially if you like commanding crystals against bloodied blades. Which name's cooler? Put in the comments. Crystal Vanguard or Team Crimson Blade. Put a hashtag in front or something. Now it's time to relax your mind, or rather your body, for a very strange one. MERIDIAN, launching February 2025 for Steam VR, is a wellness simulation single-player experience. A 1-hour guided VR wellness experience exploring your body's properties, tension points, and fascia networks. Learn breathing techniques and embrace relaxation through movement. Noteworthy features include guided breathing and relaxation exercises, interactive exploration of body mechanics, and meditative visuals and soundscapes. I feel calmer already. I'm gonna go use the toilet. If you possess 0 pet chickens or just like eating chicken, this one might be for you in Moorhuhn VR Blast, which apparently is a popular series in Germany, or a popular gaming series in Germany. It translates roughly to like Chicken Hunt. Releases on February the 13th for the Quest. Apparently it's already been on the PC VR Steam since January the 1st of 2024. In a shooter arcade single player, it is a nostalgic reinvention of the classic Moorhuhn shooting games, with new levels and challenges. Notable features include leaderboards and competitive modes, as well as unlockable weapons and power-ups. So I guess this kind of looks like a bit like a Duck Hunt if it were VR and made in 2024, kinda, with a German name though. So yeah, Danke. Now go shoot or chicken specifically. KFC will be proud. A first for the series with this February 2025 Steam VR release, in that this one's a utility tool. Might be interesting for you guys. Let me know how you feel about having utility tools in your top gaming lists for VR. This one's called the Space Calibrator. It's an open source tool for doing things like aligning tracking systems with the Quest, combining with, say, the Vive trackers as an example. At least that's the idea. I didn't 100% understand 100% what's going on with it, but hopefully you can understand more than I do from the video that's playing on the screen right now. Notable features include automatic updates via your Steam, simplified setup, and cross platform device calibration. So if you have a reason to make Quest things work with Vive things, and Vive things work with Pico things, and Pico things work with Picodes, or whatever else you got going on in VR, this tool might be able to do it. Either that, or I've just wasted a couple of seconds of your life that you'll never ever get back, which can be considered as most of YouTube and social media in general, I suppose. You're welcome. Voxel Project VR launches on Valentine's Day for Steam and the 28th on Quest, if my sources are correct, so no loving for you guys on the day of love. In this fully destructible environment sandbox, you'll be able to pilot helicopters and jets in a voxel-based physics sandbox that have you exploring a dynamic world teeming with vehicles, dynamic fire mechanics, enemy NPCs, voxel gore, weapon customization, and a bunch of additional features to discover. You can tell I'm reading directly off of the Steam page because I wasn't happy with the research synopsis here. It also has multiplayer planned for Q2 of 2025, so what more could you ask for in your voxel destruction environments of destructiveness? The perfect remedy and bonding session activity for Valentine's, if you ask me. Now I have to do a full disclaimer on this one, as being contractually obligated to be biased. Being myself a non-religious Jesus freak, Noah's Ark, launching February the 6th for Steam VR, is an entry I had to mention. This action-adventure single-player game allows you to experience Noah's Ark like never before in VR. Explore the Ark, witness the flood, and connect with history in this biblical story adapted into virtual reality. Now, where the features include immersive and interactive features, that's not very good copy from my research assistant there, historical exploration, and full VR adaptation of the biblical narrative. Now, I hope this ends up being pretty cool and has a lot of actual gameplay features and so forth. The trailer's not saying too much. The pictures give a little bit more promise to it, but let's see how it turns out. You know, it's gonna have some craft in there because you're gonna have to build the Ark, maybe even either have the family members of Noah as well, and then that whole situation, which got a little bit awkward if you know the story there, and the whole first cousins thing, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's gonna be a very busy February the 6th before Valentine's on that one. Well, I suppose now you'd be getting prepared for the robot AI apocalypse as opposed to a flood. Have you ever been told while streaming a game to two people that, bro, you have a skill issue? Well, I've never had that because I'm amazing at games, but if you have had that feeling, then you'll enjoy a Skill Issue VR coming out February 2025 for the Quest and Steam VR. In this puzzle strategy single player game, you'll be taking on a physics puzzle experience requiring precise object manipulation to solve challenges. Noteworthy features include 16 unique maps with escalating difficulty and a creative mode for custom chillax puzzles. It doesn't actually say chillax. Does people say chillax anymore? I don't know. But anyway, this might be your opportunity to show people that you don't have a skill issue. You just don't have any skill, which is completely fine as well, because in VR, you don't need skills. You just need a body that functions somewhat and don't mind looking stupid while doing it. So this is perfect. It should be a good one. Yeah, look out for this one. Now, even as a dirty watch time, YouTube monetization, social media monetization hack type thing, I do not like repeats. And this feels like a repeat, but maybe it got delayed. I feel like we saw this guy before. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if we did this one already. I feel like we did. But this time we've got a concrete release date, I guess. February 11th, 2025 should be the launch of Cold VR for PC VR, Steam, and potentially the Quest. Doesn't have a fixed date in there, but my notes say that it's Quest as well. And then PlayStation VR 2 version is to be decided. It's an action shooter, single player, that uses the time-bending shooter mechanic where time slows only when you move, reversing the super hot formula that you may be more familiar with. Notable features include unique time mechanics, immersive combat scenarios, and it says here horror-inspired elements. I hope my research has got the right game here. Does it have horror-inspired elements? If it doesn't have horror-inspired elements, I'm not responsible, okay? I just make do with what my budget allows me to do. So yeah, you problem, not mine. As cold as it may be, that's what's happening on February 11th. Alright, this next one is an interesting one in that the information about it is pretty confusing as far as the release date is concerned. It's called the Obsessive Shadow, and it has the worst mother in VR gaming history ever, according to the trailer. Now, it seems to be already free on the Quest since April 28th, 2023, if it's the same version or the same game. This PC Steam version says coming soon, so maybe that's the release it's talking about for February. And then on the PlayStation website, it says there's a version for PlayStation 2 and 1, including support for the PlayStation VR 1 PSVR aim controller. That can't be right? And that specifically says February. So I don't know what to say, except for it looks creepy. It could be an indie standout one. Your mum's a in it. tells you to go and hide while she hides away from the thing that has just eyes that's looking into your soul and trying to chase you down, as every good mother does. So yeah, I don't know. The mother's as bad as the release date information on this one. But that's what happens when you are an obsessive shadow, I suppose. Information gets a little hard to see and keep up with. Very dark indeed. Very shadowy and mysterious release date information. What happens if you're about to develop a VR game and you want to call it Dofamine VR, only to find it's taken? Well, you call it Dofamine VR, of course. Or at least that's what I would like to imagine was what happened with this particular one, called Dofamine VR. In this single-player puzzle sci-fi adventure set in a scientific fictional world, you'll be navigating a maze of scientific experiments involving the God particle at said mysterious facility, featuring a story-driven gameplay environment. Along with this scientific setting, you'll be filled with dopamine for days if the puzzles don't destroy your brain first, which doesn't sound like a great advertisement for it, but I'm sure it'll be fine. You'll get filled with dopamine and you'll be really happy on February 11th. There you go. Positive, assertive thinking. You guys are smart enough. You can handle it. Surely, right? You got this, I'm sure. Is this another repeat? I feel like we've done this one before already. Or did I just have it in the list and didn't add it? Or has this been another one that's failed its release date? Anyway, Skybound Only Up VR should be releasing February 2025? That's better. For MetaQuest 3 and Steam VR. And it's an action-adventure single-player game that rips off the idea of Only Up, but in VR. I'm only joking. I'm sure it's, it's not really a rip-off. I'm sure there was something before Only Up. But the idea is that you go up constantly, except for you're in VR doing it now. It's a vertical parkour challenge where you climb ever higher structures against time. Notable features include time trials and leaderboards, and procedurally generated obstacles, just like Only Up non-VR version that I think got removed right from the platform of Steam because it was using assets that it didn't have licenses for. So I'm sure this one will have only licensed assets and will be even better because it will be in VR. And unfortunately, with it being in VR, it probably means that not a single streamer, aside from the likes of myself, will ever stream it because streamers are lazy. And why do a thing you can do while sitting back, eating your dinner, watching YouTube videos, if instead you can try and do the same thing wearing a headset on your head? Not gonna happen. So hopefully it does well nonetheless though. What do you think? Do you want a VR version of Only Up? Is that what you've always been looking for in your life? Looks like it's been made pretty well at least. So, might be a good one, might be a standout one, might be a pick. This is likely a big ass video, so in that case, it's a good idea for me to remind you again that if you want to support independent creators like myself and not let all the corporates get all their way and all the dollar, then do one simple and very important thing in life that you'll ever do, apart from taking a poop this morning, and that is hitting the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're watching on, as well as caressing the like button. It lets algorithms know that you like the content, especially if it's combined with the watch time to match. It doesn't work to just like a video after 2 seconds and then bounce, because that just means nothing to any half decent algorithm. So otherwise, I thank you for your patriotism, well, that kind of works as well, and your time. For time is money and money is time, so it's all appreciated. Now, go and watch the rest of the video. Do it now! Now here's another potential pick of the many releases for February 2025. Now, my notes say this one's meant to be coming out on the 1st. It's the 1st of February as I'm recording this one, nearly the 2nd now, while sick. And I don't see this game released yet, so it should be coming in February, maybe. I think it already got delayed from January, so hopefully it doesn't get delayed again, unless it needs more cooking, in which case then it'd be great if it gets delayed. Coming out for the Quest and PlayStation VR 2, I think. I haven't seen the entry for PlayStation VR 2, so in fact, let me check for y'all. Yep, there it is. I should trust my assistant more. Though that one says April of 2025, so even longer to wait on the PlayStation VR 2. So obviously this is I haven't even said name yet, have I? This is Boxing Underdog, a sports simulation game with mixed reality features in the world of boxing. It's a physics-based VR boxing simulation offering realistic mechanics and multiplayer. I've been looking forward to this one, especially if it's got like a nice campaign or something. That'd be pretty cool. So noteworthy features include bare knuckle mode, so you can be like how you are on the streets after a couple of drinks, advanced AI with unique fighting styles, and multiplayer ranked matchmaking. Sounds perfect for the underdogs among us that want to beat people up in virtual reality that is mixed with mixed reality-ness, while not getting arrested afterwards for going bare knuckle. Maybe it releases on the 14th of February and then it's like bare knuckle loving. I don't know. I'm tired, bros and sists. It's just the way it's going to be now. We're just going to wing it. I'm knackered. I forget how long these videos take to make. Oh my god. So many games to cover. So little fighting chance. It's time for another entry inspired by the now legendary Super Hot, Super Hot, Super Hot. Did I do it last time, that joke? Anyway, Super Hot VR, but it's not called Super Hot VR. This is Chronostrike, and it releases on February the 13th for the Quest. And it's an FPS action game where you fight against a corrupt tech empire using time-bending mechanics to defeat enemies. It features co-op mode inspired by Super Hot VR, as I mentioned, and features futuristic environments. So hopefully it is indeed super hot, so you can be super fly for the next day, which would be the 14th if it releases on the 13th. I'm trying to get some theme of like Valentine's here. There's not much Valentine's type games here. It's like blowing up planets and shooting people in the face and shooting chickens. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Right now, I could use one of these myself. In this next VR game, we're going on the theme of food in Stack Your Burger VR, in case you confuse it with the Stack Your Burger game that isn't in VR apparently, I guess, I don't know. Released in February 27th for the Quest and PC Steam VR. This single-player simulation features you building towering burgers in a physics-based cooking simulator. Notable features include customizable ingredients and leaderboards for the tallest of tallest burger stacks. Yeah, this is could be an interesting one. It could be fun, you know. Probably not a good thing to play if you're like really hungry. Thankfully, it's not photorealistic or anything like that, so that helps. But are we not going to talk about the fact that there's a dude dressed up as Santa queuing up for a burger? We're just not going to mention that. Okay, whatever, fine. Okay, I guess we're not going to mention that. Cool. Whew. Okay, fine. It's just totally normal, especially in February. Yeah. Alright, I'm recording this one again because it took way too long, but it's a little bit confusing. This one's Horror Simulator VR, and it is meant to be, according to my data, releasing on the 27th for the Quest. There's also a Steam version that looks like it's coming potentially, I'm guessing around the same time, on February 27th. It looks like it's going to be early access. There's a free version also. It's a little confusing, but just assume something's going to happen on February the 27th for the Quest and or Steam. In this horror survival single player and now multiplayer, because there's a multiplayer update that they're doing and working on, that features the ability to customize and survive procedurally generated horror scenarios, as well as noteworthy features including modding tools and Steam Workshop support, which is coming for PC VR version to be decided. So this one looks cool though. I mean, I'm on a sabbatical of horror games at the moment to some degree, but otherwise, it caught my eye and I thought it should be one that you guys should watch out for maybe. So it looks pretty good. So there you go. It's there. And this version is way less long-winded. So I hope you appreciate that. And I hope you give this one a look maybe. Are you guys warriors? I mean real warriors. Well, in February you can prove it with the Steam VR release of Warriors. An FPS multiplayer where you battle against AI or players in a physics-driven military shooter. Featuring 8 game modes, crossplay, with Quest and PlayStation VR 2 post-launch, and very janky looking trailer gameplay footage, I think. But it's coming to early access, so give it time. It looks like it has some potential, and it could be an interesting one to add to your list of multiplayer, and it says single player as well, VRness, I guess. So yeah, it's in the list. One to watch. It's time to get in singing voice with Realize Music. Sing. Launching the 20th of February for the Quest, and coming later in the year, or at least planned, for PlayStation VR 2, Apple, Samsung, and flat screen devices in 2025. Now, the Quest release on the 20th comes under the Wellness Rhythm single-player experience. It's described as a therapeutic VR singing app blending music, meditation, and interactive activities to reduce stress and promote wellness. I think we can all use a little bit of wellness right now, right? Noteworthy features include voice reactive environments, lyrics visualized as dynamic 3D effects, and 1 million plus songs from Universal and Warner Music. So if it's Warner, Warner Brother. An additional interesting fact is that this is developed by Realize Music Inc., which is co-founded by gaming veteran Mike Wilson, think Doom and Fall Guys, and wellness expert Mark Roma. I'm sure I pronounced his surname wrongly. So this could be interesting, could fill the gap that is Ubisoft with their singing type things. And it could help your well-being, maybe make you a better singer and get you copyright the crap out of on YouTube and other platforms, which is great as well. Fantastic, one to look out for. What could be better than farming? Well, anything. But aside from that, it's obviously Farming Simulator VR, launching February the 28th, 2025 for the Quest. This simulation single-player experience allows you to have hands-on farming with authentic machinery, maintenance, and greenhouse crop cultivation in VR. Noteworthy features include 15 real brand vehicles, the John Deere, the Class, 50 plus farm activities, Pressure washroom mechanics. What? Are they stealing from Power Wash Simulator VR here? And greenhouse vegetable picking. Bro, this is the way to farm. You won't get wet, you won't get cold, and you'll practically always yield results, right? This is great. So Farming Simulator VR is definitely one to watch in this list of many releases, and it's currently exclusive for the Quest people for now. What if Beat Saber was a parkour game? Well, it would be Pixel Arcade. Maybe. Launching February the 1st, that's yesterday now at time of recording, for the Quest, this platformer offering single player and multiplayer is set in a neon-drenched VR parkour playground with graffiti-defying races and unlockable cosmetics. Some noteworthy features include 10 plus levels at launch, time trials and leaderboards, and a mixed reality mode for Quest 3, and that's post 3S as well. Now apparently the Steam VR version has been delayed to late 2025, so you're gonna have a long wait there if that's your preference of platform. But hey, this could be another diamond in the rough, I don't know. Have you always wanted to parkour saber your way through life? Well, now you can apparently. Is it a fair comparison? I don't think it goes with the rhythm per se, but seems to have banging tune in the trailer. So here's to hoping. What happens when Piñatas go rogue? You have Rogue Piñatas VRmageddon, of course, on February the 6th, launching on the Quest. An action roguelike single-player, multiplayer, and co-op experience. You'll be battling sentient piñatas in chaotic co-op survival with weapon evolutions and candy-fueled upgrades. Tasty. Noteworthy features include 4-player online co-op, 27 enemy types, 6 themed levels, that's 6, from suburbs to deserts, and 150 plus attack combinations. Viva Piñata! Viva Piñata! Viva Piñata! I should have been doing that for the singing one. Anyway, I've been known to occasionally make people's ears bleed, so you're welcome. Look out for Rogue Piñatas on the 6th, guys. Oh yeah, by the way, this was also another one that got delayed for the Steam version, this time spring 2025, although crossplay has been confirmed apparently. So yeah, there you go. Cross-playing, Piñata beating is inclusive indeed. I know what you're thinking that's all the video I have for you, but you'd be wrong because there's more video on the screen. That's right, even more VR relatedness just for you, tailored exactly to your needs, size, and requirements for absolutely free. I know it's crazy. Thanks for subscribing and liking on your way out as well, and if possible, say hi to your mum for me, huh?